This is Dealer Synergy's AVV Web Control training video number 2. Okay, we just went through the drill down aspect, which is one of the most powerful features in AVV that I like. Okay, that kind of differentiates them from other internet lead management tools or CRMs, is they're able to subcategorize with the folders. We went through active, we went through long-term, we went through sold, and we went through alt loss, which is dead. What I want to take you now is over here in add prospects. Add prospects, this is interesting. When you take an incoming phone up, or if you want to add a manual thing, this is how it's supposed to work. Now, let's say you take an incoming internet phone call or internet phone up, you're going to turn around and let's say you get the person's name. Let's say it's Sean. And then you get the last name is Bradley, right? So you type in Sean Bradley. And what you're going to do first is before you add the prospects, you're going to check to see if they're in the database. So now it says that prospect wasn't found. Now let's say there was a Sean Bradley in there, it would actually bring up the Sean Bradley's profile in there, and you would just see, is this the same Sean Bradley that I'm talking to on the phone now? If not, you could add prospect. Now when you add prospect, it brings up this other form, which is actually an in-depth, basically prospect sheet. And it's loading up right now, it's taking a long time. Now, what I want to focus on now that we've got the screen up, there's basic stuff that you're able to put in here, such as, name, the address, the vehicle they're looking for, their phone number, their email address, and, other information. There's, you could talk about the actual vehicle, you could talk about the trade-in, you could talk about the contact, their family. Yeah, and what this is it's field intelligence. Again, when you're taking an incoming phone call or you're taking a referral, for example, and you qualify somebody, or in conversation, they mention anything from, who the vehicle's for, their family members, anniversary dates, birth dates, anything that's significantly of reference, you want to be able to put it here. But the things that are imperative that you have to fill out, if you see it says type, it says new used, sourced, assigned, status, and date. The date is pretty much stamped there, the status is new, but I want to go through what's important. And this is where people kind of mess up on things right here. If you turn around and you look for type, there's several different types. It's walk-in, phone up, internet, owner, corporate, and other. You don't ever need to put other. Follow me on this. If it's an internet walk-in, if it's a walk-in, it's under walk-in. If it's a phone up, follow me on this. This is where there's confusion. Let's say you get a lead from AutoTrader or Cars.com or from your website, but they call you. What you might naturally want to do is you might naturally think, oh, it's an internet because it started off of your website or AutoBytel or something like that. That's not correct. What you want to be able to do is you want to put it as phone up because it's a phone up. But then if you look at source, you could turn around and you have all these sources. The source might be AutoTrader. So let's find AutoTrader because I know they have it here. See how it says AutoTrader right there? It says phone up is the type, but AutoTrader is a source. Remember, what I see a lot of mistakes is that what dealers are going to do is they're going to market internet because internet is an AutoTrader thing. It's an AutoTrader, correlation, but that's not the case. So remember, when you take an incoming phone up or you're actually doing a manual prospect ad, it's imperative to be cognizant of what type you're putting in. Walk-in, phone, internet, etc. Because if you don't do this, it actually will mess up your reports. And I'll show you that when we get to the video about reporting and analytics. It's also very important to put the right source. Now, the way that you do that, if you go into settings up here, you'll be able to turn around and use the user-defined settings. You're going to be able to add, different sources. Now I've seen people that have added AutoTrader phone, AutoTrader, credit app, and all that other stuff. What you want to do is you only want to have one AutoTrader source, because if you are able to manipulate the type, then you don't need to put AutoTrader in parentheses phone because you're going to already know that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, assigned. You're going to be able to turn around and assign, who the coordinator is or the internet sales rep is. And then obviously the status that is. It could be, incoming phone call. It could be, whatever the status is relevant. You also need to get at least the first name, last name. Best practices are you want to try to get their phone number, email address, social media, any type of contact information. Any questions on, how to add a prospect to here?
No, you're very clear.
Okay, now there's other buttons here, but again, it's more than a couple of videos to kind of go through each and every button. But I do suggest that if you're new to AVV Web Control, first thing you should do is, sign up for training. And again, they offer webinars on basic training, advanced training, management training, CRM training, all types of training. And after you go through the regular training from AVV, I suggest that you just kind of go through each of the buttons and just click them and kind of explore each of that stuff. So for you, what I want you to do is after you watch these videos, just click the button. Click the button. Okay, there's like scheduled actions. This is going to bring up all the scheduled actions. There's none right here, obviously, but this is where it would be. Recent activity will show, obviously, what the recent activities are. Sales status, this is the overall sales status: active, long-term, sold, all lost, not applicable, trash, prospect type, source, personal email. Again, these are all self-explanatory. Now, if you look at the top over here, you've got prospects, you've got organizer, you've got reports, you've got tools. What I want to do is, Kyle is the manager. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to one of the internet coordinators. So now we're actually now live in a real example. So as of right now, again, there's one prospect that's up here. This coordinator, let's start talking about on the next video all the details about this one coordinator. What we're going to touch in right now is we have Ashley's file. This is her organizer. When she clicks here, this is going to have her appointments or her details that are on here. What the calendar for AVV should be used for, and this is very important because different CRMs, different ILMs have different uses and different philosophies. This is the dealer synergy philosophy. I know other people that use AVV that have a different approach. The only thing that I want on the calendar are appointments or reminders. Appointments means if there's an appointment for a test drive, appointment for to meet with the credit person, appointment to visit the dealership. For whatever reason, if it's a physical in-store appointment, that should be listed on the calendar. The other thing that you want to put on the calendar is any type of reminders. For example, if I'm talking to a prospect, let's say I'm talking to Tashonda. Hey, Tashonda, da-da-da-da, we're going back and forth, and then it's like Tashonda says to, Sean, oh, I gotta go. Can you call me back at, later on? Okay, boom. So if I'm ready to engage with the prospect and they've got to go, which happens sometimes, they've got to leave the phone call prematurely, we're going to set a reminder of when to specifically call them. We could put it in the overall protocol, but I want to just set a reminder within the calendar. On top of that, let's say, to Sean says, oh, Sean, can you call me? Or I'm going to call you. Those are bi-directional, which means if the prospect has to exit, or God forbid, you have to exit the phone call for whatever reason, you want to, basically set a reminder of when you should call the prospect or when the prospect is going to call you. And that's in a situation if you have to exit the conversation prematurely. Another good use of using the calendar is this, and this is very important when we're analyzing. When Dealer Synergy analyzes and has the ILM, CRM analytics going, you got to realize that the prime time is between 6 and 8 p.m. to contact a prospect. Okay, so let's say somebody's working, you have a coordinator that's working between 9 to 5. So if a coordinator is working from 9 to 5 and they always only call somebody 9 to 5, 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 and they left message, left message, left message, left message, left message, you're going to realize really quickly that, maybe I should be trying to contact this person after 5, after 6, after 7, etc. So you might want to set a specific reminder in the calendar or the organizer. It's called calendar organizer. It's the same thing in AVV of, hey, let me try to, switch off the time that I follow up. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay, good. So again, you've got the prospect tab, you've got the organizer tab, you've got the reports tab, and you've got the tool tab. Okay, tools we're going to leave for management stuff, but as far as reports, when I was doing this as a coordinator and as manager, I would always want to, know what I was doing. Average salesperson performance, average response time, closing ratio by salesperson, sales productivity, gross profit by salesperson, organizer activity, login activity, showroom daily activity, ups by salesperson. I mean, again, you should just go into your reporting, and what you can't track, you can't measure. What you can't measure, you can't enhance, you can't evolve. If you want to evolve to the next level as an internet coordinator, internet sales rep, you need to be able to keep track of your numbers and your analytics. Dealer Synergy assists with having your 3-minute books. Now, you all know what a 3-minute book is. It's a proprietary, goal planning, projecting, forecasting organization by Dealer Synergy. How do you get your information for your 3-minute books? You would get that from here. It's also important to put the right information in. It's imperative, which we'll talk about in a future video, to keep it organized. Because if your numbers are screwed up, you're not going to have good and righteous data, which means you won't be able to really enhance anything. Garbage in, garbage out.